The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Welcome to episode 20 of Work the Left Side. It is a spotlight episode, so I am joined, as always, by Ryan Palmer and Mick Connolly turns up again this week, and we are talking about Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3 kid, X-Pac, Syxx, Kamikaze Kid, Lightning Kid, and every other name in between. Yeah, it was a good episode to do because obviously Waltman is one of those guys. It's very overlooked. So, and it seems to be there's a lot of love for him from the workers. I mean, they acknowledge him as like the benchmark. They put people against him to see if they can have a good match. Jobs are good and kind of thing. So, yeah, it was interesting because obviously he's got varying. He was part of the NWO, the original NWO. Was part of the DX from '98, the Attitude Era DX, and then you had the Ultimate Underdog as the 1-2-3 kid. So he's had an interesting career, and it was good to look through some of the matches. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it because it's. And I apologise for the last 10 minutes or so. It gets a bit weird. So I can only sort of apologise for that, but in a good way. Hopefully you still enjoy it. It's just the three of us just kind of lose control and just start talking general bollocks about celebrity porn films and stuff like that. So enjoy. Let us know what you think. As always, give it a thumbs up. Give it. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Let us know future people you want on Spotlight episodes. And obviously share the page and subscribe if you aren't already. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this. Enjoy. We'll see you again next week. If you're new, obviously go back and watch some of the previous episodes. We've got interviews, we've got spotlights, and we've got the Underground now. 2 episodes of that. So yeah. Thank you. Help spread the love. Share the page. And we will see you soon.
So we have got the spotlight episode. Welcome everyone to Work the Left Side. We are looking at the Lightning Kid, the 1-2-3 kid, the Kamikaze Kid, Syxx, and any other name that he's gone by. It's called X-Pac, obviously being the one that I thought about without saying, to be honest. But, obviously it didn't go without saying. Cheers, Mick. So yeah, it's a spotlight episode on Sean Waltman. Obviously, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Palmer, and Mr. Connolly has popped up.
Hello.
So we'll join. Gentlemen, how are you all?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Yes.
Considering we're 9:30 at night now and something, a lot later than normal. Yeah. I'm actually not drinking for this one as well. It's just weird for me.
Wow, this is good.
I know.
Well, it might not be. I don't know. You might not be as talkative. You might.
No,
actually...
no, I'm still a gobshite.
Oh, that's right then.
Like Seamus on Raw said, gobshite,
and didn't get bleeped either.
Didn't get bleeped.
Trent turned up on Peacock, then it was delete it for some reason. We have got. Oh, God.
And the other news as well is Nick's going to be buying all the stuff soon with his WWE share.
To the moon.
To the moon. But, yeah, with my one share.
As I said in there, not seen a spike like that since Umaga.
I popped for that reference, I'm not going to lie. That made me chuckle. So we have got obviously Sean Sean Waltman, the kid. Often, I mean, you two guys were bigging him up on the last Underground episode, and obviously, kind of as soon as I suggested doing another spotlight episode with Mr. Palmer, straight away, X-Pac, no hesitation.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the love is still there after we've watched a few more of his matches. So I will pass it over to Mr. Palmer, whose idea it was for X-Pac in the first place.
Well, thank you very much. It came from the most underrated match ever, which no one's ever seen. Certainly not me. The Bret Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid match from Raw for the WWF Championship. We both touched on this when we were doing the spotlight episode on Bret Hart himself, and it was just like, I think, was it you, Mick, that recommended, or it was someone?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this match? So took a look at this match, and I think I had a very vague memory of watching it, because I was, at the time, I was just like, back in the day, it's like 93, 94.
94, yeah.
94. I was, my love for wrestling was just waning, and I was off to uni anyway, and there was no one in the halls had satellite TV and stuff. So I was like, well, we'll be watching wrestling anymore. So I watched this. I have a vague memory of watching this match, but watching it again this time, I was just like, holy shit, absolutely blown away. Starts off with Bret kind of underestimating and taking the 1-2-3 Kid really lightly. He's not really healing it up because he's the top babyface. He does do the honourable shake the hand, kind of ruffles X-Pac's hair, 1-2-3 Kid's hair. They start wrestling. There's a load of chain wrestling. It's really fast paced. Bret, he's taking Bret to the limit, to the extent where Bret's just like, hey, what the hell's going on? He's nearly blowed up. Then Bret's just like, right, he starts taking him seriously. He's just like, oh, okay, all right, this is what you got, all right. So then deep into the deep waters of the match, you're getting, I think, quite a few pin attempts.
It was never seen before, stuff like that either.
Oh no,
Did
not.
happen like that. No. I don't
Definitely.
remember it on a lot of pay-per-views either, where there was this many near falls in matches and
Yeah.
stuff like that from anything. I don't remember anything coming close to that, in fairness, when I look back at the times through then.
Absolutely, it's just like it's a match in my eyes comparable to the Savage Steamboat match from WrestleMania 3. 'Cause it's out of its time. It's a total antithesis to wrestling at the time. And as I say, this is the one that brought me a whole brand new respect to X-Pac for me, because jumping forward in time, getting back into wrestling, and I'm watching Raw in 1999. I'm seeing some bearded kid hanging around with Triple H. I'm thinking, that guy looks familiar. That's the one. Is that the 1-2-3 Kid? It might be. And seeing him just being a little nut, a little pipsqueak, and a little prick, bouncing about, getting into everybody's shit, and being a nuisance, kissing Tory and whatever, and then discovering, oh shit, that really is the 1-2-3 Kid. So then, fast forward even further to now, or going back, to now, where we're watching this as a retrospective on X-Pac. This match itself just completely opened my eyes to how good a wrestler he really is. It's two really exceptional wrestlers in Bret and in X-Pac. Bret gets a pinfall in this match, but 1-2-3 Kid's leg is on the rope. So the ref counts to 3. Bret sees the legs on the rope, and he's just waving it off to the ref. No, I'm not going to win like that. I'm not going to win like that. Restart the match. Match restarts. They get into it. There's like a crossbody off the top rope, a power bomb, loads of top rope leg drops from X-Pac. 1, 2, 3 kid. He's just flying about the ring. Brett eventually gets 1, 2, 3 kid into a sharpshooter because 1, 2, 3 kid comes off the top rope again with like a flying drop kick, but he catches him. Lands flat back, gets him by his feet, puts him in the sharpshooter. Has to tap, releases him from the sharpshooter straight away, and then the crowd just pops big style. They just they've seen a fucking masterpiece. I've seen a fucking masterpiece from these two guys, X-Pac at least. First time I've ever seen I can't remember back then. Maybe Bulldog Brett at the SummerSlam at Wembley would have been a standing ovation. Certainly not on a TV show, not on a Saturday Night's Main Event or a Raw or Wrestling Challenge, anything like that, where the crowd have gotten up, the commentators are getting up.
And Savage starts it all off, doesn't he?
Savage starts it off. So he just said, "That's the best match I've ever seen," or "Match of the year," something like that. He leads a standing ovation. Everyone's just up on their feet, and it's just it's an unbelievable match.
Savage is amazing on commentary as well on it.
Yes, he is.
He is unbelievable on commentary. The pair of them just absolutely selling it. So I don't think the match maybe would have been as good had they not have been on commentary, because those two absolutely sold the fuck out of that match.
Everything comes together in that match.
Yeah.
Everything comes together. The storytelling with the ref, commentary especially as well. Razor Ramon even comes out of the ring at one point. Bulldog chases him off. So there's no outside interference at all. It's a total clean finish. No shenanigans whatsoever apart from those two attempting to get involved. So
this is 94 Raw, and it went for 20 odd minutes.
Yes, that was it. Yes.
It was a squash show. That's entirely what it was devised for.
Well, you'd have matches like Undertaker against Damien Demento and things like that, wouldn't you? Yeah. And then they've got this on, which on paper you would have thought Brett's champion. He's fighting the 1, 2, 3 kid. It's going to be a couple of minutes maximum. They might get a couple of moves in there from the kid, but that's it. But no, like you say, they go for over 20 minutes, and there's no let up on it either. It's just they're constantly going.
I think there's an ad break as well. It goes through an ad break.
It's the only time they've ever fought one-on-one, you know.
That's insane.
Because Waltman, like an interview, he goes, that was the first time he ever got in the ring with Bret Hart. And he's got so much love for him as well. Any interview where he's talking about this match, he's like, Bret just put me over like to the moon. He absolutely just escalated, my net worth. And he goes, that was a one and only shot. It's like, I can't help but think like, what would happen if they got into a feud or if they had future matches. You're just talking like, they had something there.
They set the bar that high. It's like, would you really want to have another match after the bar set that high? Because the expectations for the next one would have been, because I didn't, like I say, I was only 13 when this one was out, but I didn't see it until I think it was on one of the Raw anniversary DVDs. And it's one of the, I think it was like the 15-year anniversary one, and they were just showing like different, and they showed this match in its entirety, and like all the other matches and stuff, it's like highlights of them and everything. This one, they show like sort of from start to finish, like sort of, it takes up about, like I say, 25-minute block of the DVD. The first time I seen it, I mean, anytime now anyone asks anything on like Twitter, Facebook, anything about like sort of matches people should watch and that, this is one of the first ones I always go to. It's just like, look this match up and watch it, because it's just unbelievable.
The full match is on YouTube as well for people watching or listening. So if you ain't got the network, go on YouTube. It's on there in its entirety. I think WWE just put it on there just because it's like, go watch it.
Absolutely splendid. It's a friggin' a workhorse matches, a workhorse fan dream of a match. Especially in the new gen era where it's something you just didn't ever see.
It's one that we say quite a bit about these spotlight ones and some about some of the other, but this one wouldn't look out of place now in an NXT or anything like that. No. It would take up a half-hour slot of takeover, and it wouldn't look out of place in there whatsoever. It wouldn't diminish the show at all, anything like that. It's just so good. And especially the size of them as well. They, compared to obviously wrestlers nowadays and stuff, they're the same size as them. It's just absolute perfection. And it's 30 years before it's nearly 30 years before its time.
When I was doing this, I was obviously like, doing research and stuff. And I always thought of X-Pac, obviously because he was in the land of the giants. I always thought it was a small guy. He's 6'1". He's taller than me. And I'm like, oh crap. You just think like, bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was like my height at 5'8" or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I dude 6'1". He's a big boy. It's like, bloody hell. I suppose being stood next to Razor Ramon for a long time during the 1-2-3 Kid era didn't help. Ramon's like a big bastard, isn't he? So
and then the help matters as well. Joining the NWO, and you stood next to Hogan and Nash as well, who are obviously they're not the tallest fellas, I know, but they're still going to.
But yeah, so that just totally blew my mind as well. I was like, oh shit, you're 6'1". So yeah, obviously that was the first match we had to discuss, because we've talked about it a few times, and it's just still, if people haven't gone and watched it yet, they need to go and watch it. We'll keep talking about it. We'll find any means and ways to get into your head.
Any excuse to go and watch it as well. I'm happy to go back and watch that anytime.
Exactly. So I mean, I'll find out who the referee is, and we'll do a spotlight episode on that referee, and then we'll match again.
I'm looking forward to the Macho Man Part 2, where we do the spotlight episode on his commentary. And we're going.
Let's do the damn thing. Let's get it locked and loaded.
That'd be awesome. Right, Mr. Connolly, what you got then?
I'm going to go the other end of the spectrum now for his career anyway, and I'm going to go to No Surrender TNA 2005 against AJ Styles with Jerry Lynn as the referee. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's another one which is just, considering what that one was 94, we're talking 11 years later here. So he'd been going for about 15, 16 years now. So he's getting older, but he's not old. But he's obviously the veteran in this one compared to AJ, who's only been about 5-6 years. And I mean, just chucking Jerry Lynn in the mixer as well, just for the hell of it. Because I mean, as the match goes on, it really doesn't have that much of an effect on it, other than obviously sort of the finish. But again, it's not a massive outside interference thing where he turns on him or anything. But no, it's basically those two. It's just one of those matches again, though. Obviously, when you've got AJ Styles in there, he's basically this generation Shawn Michaels now. You put him in with anyone, and he's going to have an amazing match. I mean, they've got it just back and forth. Obviously, X-Pac chucking out the spin kicks and everything. There's one in particular I remember where he just absolutely just creams and clean on the nose, and AJ Styles just gets bundled out of the ring, and his nose is just pissing of blood. And then it just so happens X-Pac then decides that's the perfect time to do a somersault off the top rope to the outside, and absolutely wipes him out again. And you can just see AJ's head just absolutely smash off the back of the guardrail and everything. And it just looks so brutal. And they go back and you just see AJ's face, and it's just his nose, his mouth, everything's just pissing of blood from these kicks and the somersault and everything. They've got obviously then the bits in where obviously AJ hits the Styles Clash with Sean Waltman is in this match. No gimmick names, really, just his name. Kicks out of that. You've got he goes for the spinal tap and misses that. X-Pac hits Sean Waltman hits the X Factor, as it's still called then, even though no relation to X-Pac. Kicks out of that, and then because you've got the bit where they go for it towards the end and everything, and Sean Waltman's holding up the top ropes, and Jerry Lynn kicks his hands off there, like sort of when they were going through a sunset flip, and it sort of somehow progresses into a Styles Clash, and he hits one of the best Styles Clashes I've seen him hit in a long time to finally get the win. But it's just, again, it's a really good match. It's one that I didn't know about. It was one where I was just doing like sort of research on it and stuff, and I come across randomly enough, I think Meltzer ratings or something, and it was like a 4-star match and stuff. I go, oh, well, I'll have a watch of that one, see if it's worth talking about. And yeah, it was. Yeah. Again, full it's on YouTube. Yeah, full match. But no, it's a cracker.
The cool thing about that is to be the research guy. Waltman and Jerry Lynn, very, very good mates. They kind of broke into the business at the same time.
In Minnesota.
Lynn and X-Pac were just they were like a tag team. They went over to Japan in like 92, 93, and they had a series of matches where they were a team or they were against each other. So yeah, Waltman and Jerry Lynn have got a big, long time history with each other. So that was cool to see those two guys back in the ring. Obviously, years down the line, because Jerry Lynn's a guy that I've got a lot of love for, and I think is very, very underappreciated.
It certainly was when he came to WWE.
Yeah, well,
Is this what I come to defend this JR? That was hilarious. Then JR was just like, what's he having to go at me for? Oh, poor Jerry Lynn. Fucking hell. It was like that was a period like Jerry Lynn come over, then Frankie Kazarian come over, and there was like a few of them, and they just
I think Jerry Lynn.
bombed.
In
fucking horrible.
WWE, yeah. Because I mean, obviously Jerry Lynn was there because he started the X division, wasn't he? Obviously at that time, 2005, 2006, AJ was him and Samoa Joe and Daniels were just the kings of the X division. Nobody comes near them. Even though all of us, like sort of, even back then, I was looking at it, it was like Chris Sabin was the held it for the most times, and I don't remember a time at all during when those three were there of him holding the title. It was like he was a 4-time champion then and stuff. It was like, what, really?
it's Chris Sabin though. I don't ever remember him being the world champion, and he was. I was like, oh,
I remember him beating
cashed in
Bully Ray.
options. See,
I remember him beating Bully Ray.
I honestly,
I think he used the hammer.
yeah, he did.
If I remember rightly. So that was when he. I think that was still when he was with Velvet Sky.
I think it was.
Yeah. And then moving on years later, and now Bully's with her.
Yeah, because obviously he's such a good-looking guy. I'm sure she's not with him for the rub or anything. So
wow, there we go.
For the rubber something. Maybe.
Fucking saying nothing, mate. But I'm assuming, he might be. Baby holding an apple. Anyway, yeah.
I'm going to change the subject very quickly. I know I'm going to do what I normally do and go with WCW because, as mentioned numerous times, I love these kind of shows just because I get to go out and watch WCW that I've never watched before. So these are like new matches to me. Sold Out in '97 against Eddie Guerrero in a ladder match.
With some beautiful ladies on motorbikes.
Oh God, old hags, man. And they're like the NWO girls. They're like 40-year-olds.
Miss NWO contest.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't watch this
straight in the barrel.
I was like, and bloody DiBiase and Bischoff on commentary. I was just like, it starts off as a cracker though, because when Eddie's coming out to the ring, they don't even announce it's Eddie Guerrero. They just announce it's the Mexican jumping bean.
and just all of a sudden, no music, and you just hear a bloke on the thing going, loser, Mexican jumping bean, Eddie Guerrero. And it's just like, what the?
This was the first NWO pay-per-view, wasn't it? I'm guessing. It had the NWO mat on the thing, and it was all very sort of like underground kind of vibe about it.
Nick Patrick was referee for every match.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, with his NWO shirt and his earring. It's like, it looked like he belonged on like Eastwood Bound or something.
And all they've done throughout the match as well is talk about the previous match.
Yeah.
With the Steiners and the Outsiders.
Yes.
Sat and talked about that the whole time.
It was a travesty, man, because this is legitimately such a good match as well. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this match. And this is just Eddie Guerrero, Sean Waltman, or Syxx, just both at the top of the game on this match. This is like a 4-star match for me. It's a good ladder match. Both guys are using it well. They're bigging up the fact that Syxx has probably been in Scott Hall's ear, to find out how best to use the ladder based on his knowledge of ladder matches and all this kind of sort of stuff. And it's just hard hitting. And yeah, I would just highly recommend. It's got a good finish as well. I've never actually seen this finish to a ladder match before, where they actually both pulled down the title. They both got hands on it, and Eddie just kind of like bonks in on the head with the belt, and Syxx falls off the ladder, and Eddie's there with the belt like, yeah, it's mine.
And then runs into the crowd to celebrate with Knobs and bloody Arn Anderson.
Yeah, the WCW section of the crowd. It's just like, but yeah, I highly recommend to go watch this match. It's got all the spots you want in it. It's just weird seeing Eddie in WCW as well, because obviously my memory's imprinted with him like roided up in WWE kind of thing, where he's like
with his dodgy tash and stuff as well.
Yeah, and just done the mullet, but it's Eddie, man. It's like that. If anyone can pull it off, I would highly recommend. This is
if
one
you
of those
can get
matches
past the awful camera work as well. That bloody camera that they keep having going on.
It's just the thing in the
coming into
the screen as well.
It's awful. That is awful. It does. For me, it takes actually some of the stuff away from the match. That camera work. I think it's dreadful. Like you say, DiBiase and Bischoff on commentary are just
Yeah, DiBiase's awful. I love DiBiase. I love him as a wrestler. I love him as a person. I've just watched on a sidebar as well. If anybody's got Amazon Prime, The Price of Fame. It's a DiBiase documentary on Amazon Prime. Awesome. Him and DiBiase Jr. just talking and going on road trips and stuff like that to like places where he started wrestling. So yeah, DiBiase. This kind of tainted DiBiase for me. Then I watched NXT and I'm all right again now. But
it was so bad. I was sat there thinking, I wish Taz was commentating.
whoa. Taz is awesome. Don't besmirch Taz. It was that bad. I was wishing for Michael Cole.
Cole and Taz instead of Bischoff and DiBiase. I'd take it.
Or it was that bad. I was wishing for Arnon Verk or whatever his name was.
Oh man, fucking hell.
Get him in the Hall of Fame.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fucking train or something.
Yeah. I haven't been watching TV, but I've seen that bit for some reason, and I was crying laughing. Get off the tracks. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger boat. What boats do you know are on train tracks?
That's my 2-minute match contribution. Mr. Palmer, what we got next?
We have next is WrestleMania 15 versus Shane McMahon for the European Championship.
Mean Street Posse.
The Mean Street Posse, there's 5 of them.
But no Joey Abs.
No Joey Abs.
No Joey
You've got
Abs.
Rodney and Pete Gas, but no Joey Abs and three other random.
Guys. Yeah.
It's 5 of them. It took 5 of them. So it's Shane accompanied by Tess. And then, as you say, you got the
How
5.
How did they always pop up?
5 Mean Street Posse dudes in the front row. It seems like X-Pac is X-Pac here. He's not 1, 2, 3 Kid or Syxx. He's X-Pac. He's a babyface in this, and he's challenging for the prestigious European Championship. And I think I vaguely remember there's some sort of running storyline throughout the whole show. It's like this whole WrestleMania is an angle for TV where DX are breaking up and splitting up and breaking up. Well, they're splitting up, getting back together, splitting up and getting back together. And then ultimately at the end of this match, they split up again and they join the fucking corporation. So there's some sort of corporation shit going on from what I remember.
With Shane's fantastic WrestleMania 15 customized jersey as well with X jump on. And then, what was it, 1, 2, 3? I've got your number on the back or something. Because yes, thanks guys. By the way, that's 2 of my matches gone off my list, you fuck.
Oh, sorry, either. He gets beaten up, or he gets mugged, ambushed by fucking Patterson and Briscoe before the match, but manages to fight them off.
It wouldn't take a spin kick, I noticed, the fucks.
This match is fucking ridiculous as well, because there's loads of disqualifications, but there's no disqualifications, but it's never announced there's no disqualification. Shane beats X-Pac with Tet's belt. Then
would you get a
beats
5
Shane
count for?
Yeah,
the referee's giving him a 5 count while he's whipping him with a belt. It's like, well, hold on, no, that's a weapon. Let's fucking count it.
Tess gets in the ring. He's interfering. The referee's just like, oh, I've just lost control of this shit. It's like, did the ring announcer fucking forget to say, oh yeah, this is No disqualification. So what the fuck's going on?
The ring post spot as well with Test, the first bit that he does, when he rams him dick first into the ring post on the outside, just picks him up like an atomic drop and just runs him dick first into the ring post. And then he misses the stairs coming down and just fucking splats on his back on the floor. It looks awful. It looks so nasty.
Later on, X-Pac decides to twat all 5 of the Mean Street posse. So he runs along. Test comes on, one clothesline. X-Pac's out. Again, the referee is just fucking watching what's going on. Fast forward to the end, you see Triple H running down to the ring with China. China jumps on the apron, distracts the referee. Triple H pulls Test out the ring because Test's in the ring. X-Pac's about to give Test the Bronco Buster, but obviously doesn't. Pulls him out the ring. Triple H goes in the ring, hits. He hits Shane with the X Factor. Then Triple H goes in the ring, hits X-Pac with the pedigree. Rolls Shane on top of X-Pac. 1, 2, 3. Fucking Shane retains, and then afterwards they just beat the living shit out of X-Pac, and then Road Dogg and Billy Gunn come down the ring, and they get beaten up as well.
Billy Gunn almost slides completely through the ring.
He's selling like
Triple H has to stamp on him to stop him. He's pretty much slid from one side to the other. He's about to land out the other side. Triple H just stamps on him to stop him. It's like, watching it back now, and I was just thinking, yeah, Billy Gunn used to do that all the time. He used to slide for miles when he used to do run-ins all the time. But I'd never seen it to the point whereby, had he not have been stopped by Triple H's foot, that he would have just cleared the ring completely. Could have been like, fuck that as well, surely.
Maybe Yo-Yo Man, it's fine.
I think just before we were coming on air, I was saying, there's like a high in the matches that I've picked, and then there's this is one of the lows. I'm thinking, shit. But there's some other lows as well, which is unfortunate.
For this a lot though, because he's working with Shane. Obviously, that whole X-Pac thing.
This was Shane's first. Was this Shane's first Mania match as well?
I think it must be. To be fair, he pulls a good match out of Shane, but Shane doesn't look at all incompetent. He looks more incompetent now when he's potatoing people with real fucking shots than he did then. So I don't know what the fuck happened. So you got worse as you got older.
But in fairness to them as well, from what I remember of Mania 15, it's an awful, awful show anyway.
I don't think
it's great because is 15 the one with the Hell in a Cell where Undertaker hangs Big Boss Man?
Yeah,
it's fucking terrible.
I think it's the Brawl for All one as well.
I think that was 14. I thought that was 14.
That's 14, isn't it?
But I remember this one as well. I remember them coming out and just even the set being terrible, where they had a metal framework of X5 and then the V just in the middle of the fucking the curtains and stuff. So we opened it up and there's just a big metal V in your way, fucking blocking the way.
It was a one-man Rock versus Austin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with this one, I wouldn't put the blame on X-Pac if this is a low. I think this just adds credence to the whole because there's the logic of he was used as the measuring stick. You know, if they wanted to put somebody in the ring, if they wanted to test somebody out, or if they wanted someone to be safe, put him in with Waltman, which is why when Jericho pissed off everyone after he joined, he rapidly dropped from doing promos with The Rock to being in a feud with X-Pac, which I've got a match for later. But yeah, because basically the guys didn't like Jericho, so it's like, right, let him work with Sean. If Sean vouches for him, if Sean can get a good match out of him, fine. If he can't get a match out of him, fuck him off. That was the logic. You know, Sean, he was the benchmark.
Fair enough. Using that logic then, okay, it's not that terrible. I think because it wasn't actually terrible. I think what pissed me off about it was maybe the amount of distractions and disqualification.
Was you missing? Who was it? Joey Abs that was missing.
Yeah, I was missing Joey Abs.
We
Whichever one it was.
He was the only one that was an actual wrestler, wasn't he?
There's now 2 reasons to have the hashtag We Want Abs. That match and me being a fat fuck.
We Want Abs.
He was the only one that was a wrestler, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The other 2 guys were legitimately Shane's mates, and Abs was thrown in there as an actual worker kind of thing. So yeah, obviously they threw him in at a later date.
I can't wait for the Mean Street Posse spotlight episode. I'm busting out the tank top and the polo shirt and everything for that one.
See, you joke, but you never know.
No, I got that. I got that. I got that full. And that's not just for fancy dress. That's just for dress.
Normal dress.
Bright pink.
I can see it.
Bright pink too.
The flat cap.
I got 2 of them as well.
Me. What you got?
Right, we'll go to Road Wild 97, one of my least favourite series of pay-per-views, Road Wild or Hog Wild. But 97, he has a match with Flair. And it's a match, I think it was I think there was about 6 months build up towards this. Where he put him on the shelf, because it was when he was using the Buzz Killer, which was his version of the crossface chicken wing, and he injured Flair.
They took the piss out of the Horseman, didn't they? The NWO was taking the piss out of the Horseman.
Yeah, but I think he put Flair out for 6 months or something. Like Flair was out for, I think, some sort of surgery anyway, but he was out for 6 months, and it was like they were saying it was because obviously Syxx-Pac had put him in this and damaged his shoulder with it. And as I say, like, Hog Wild and Road Wild for me, I've never seen a good WCW show with that, where you've just got pissed up bikers making as much noise as they possibly can with fucking ridiculous penis extension motorbikes. And fucking at the time as well, then fucking it was just, you couldn't hear anything through it. Like the commentators, you could hear they were raising their voice because they were just constantly revving their whole engines and stuff. But no, like I say, he comes out. He's got the full Syxx-Pac gear on. He's got every 90s stereotype like gangster rap thing on his tights as well. He's got the awful gothic style thug across there. He's got what was it? Notorious on his back as well, and then Syxx-Pac on both. It's just every cliche for what he wanted to be at the time and everything. And but no, they have a really good match throughout it. It just goes back and forth. It's like Flair's meant to be the face, but obviously he's Flair. So you've got both of them just absolutely just trying to heal it up the whole way through, get on over each other, just constant. Obviously, you've got your chops and all your normal Flair spots and everything. Again, it's another one where he does a spin kick and it catches Flair flush on the jaw at one point, and you just see Flair hit the ground and try to jump back up. And like he's sort of a bit, and like, I think legitimately just trying to go for him because he's caught him full on square in the jaw. It's like how he didn't knock out any of his teeth or anything like that. I don't know, but no, it's back and forth all the way, because you say when you've got 2 guys who are used to being the heel representatives in matches, they they're used to controlling the matches and stuff. So there's not really the big, like, sort of, you've got your big thing where you've got the heel work for a long time. It's just constant. It's just really good match. And then you got Flair finally gets the figure 4 on stuff, but he gets to the ropes. Waltman ends up going for the chicken wing, but he gets rammed into the buckles and stuff to get out of it. He puts Flair down in the corner, looking as though he's going for the Bronco Buster. And Flair does the old foot up in the dick counter for it, and then basically rolls him up and sticks his feet on the rope for the win.
Nice. Face winning with dirty heel tactics.
Yes, yeah, a low blow and feet on the rope. But again, in this one, all you've got the whole time is the commentators, which they love to do in WCW, is spend a lot of the time talking about other matches.
Yeah.
Where they just kept talking about the importance of, it's WCW, NWO. It's like they won this one, so it scores 1-1 at the moment. It's like no one's keeping score. If you keep a score, put a scorecard in the fucking bottom corner. Otherwise, don't give a fuck. And then
they did that with the Invasion. They kept score with the Invasion pay-per-views.
I think that was just one pay-per-view. I think in every pay-per-view that involves WCW versus friggin' NWO, it's just they keep keeping score. It's just like, Why do it for all of them? It's just nuts.
But again, this match, all they're doing is they're talking about how they've got the signers against the outsiders coming up. Hogan against Luger for the title. Oh, what a classic that'll have been. Macho Man against the Giant and stuff. All big, massive. No mention of Kurt Hennig against DDP, which would have actually been a fucking great match, probably. But no mention of that one, even though that's an NWO versus WCW one. And then you've got the commentators as well, where at one point Heenan just starts talking about how much he actually respects like sort of Syxx-Pac's ethics and stuff. He goes, and they're like, no, Bobby, you're WCW, you're meant to not like him and stuff. He's like, no, but I respect what he's doing, and he's just trying to like sort of get over it. But the others are like, no, we're WCW, we hate them. And he's like, I just respect the guy. But no, as I say, it's Ric Flair. Most times, even in like sort of '97, you're going to get a good match out of Ric Flair, and I think the two of them worked really well together.
See, I'm not a Flair. I'm still waiting for Palmer. I'm still waiting to do a spotlight episode on Flair to sell him to me.
It's a killing. It's a killing.
I'd be more excited about this because of the Waltman, connection kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I appreciate Flair. I know this love for him must come from somewhere. I just haven't seen it yet. That's all. So yeah, on his day, we talked about it on the Randy Savage spotlight episode. When you had Savage and Flair in the ring, you got two guys of that caliber. So I put Waltman in that category as well, kind of thing. So yeah,
there is a good spot as well. I've just remembered as well where Heenan mentions about Flair being at the time 13 times world champion, and how it's something you never think it'll never be replicated again. How wrong could you be, Bobby? How wrong could you be?
We replicated 3 times
and surpassed.
Oh yeah. So by John Cena, that's all right.
And Ric Flair.
I'm waiting for the John Cena spotlight episode.
I'm all over that one. I'm all over that one. Love me a bit of Cena. Didn't see that coming.
I think I'll be conveniently on holiday for that one.
Right, I went for an invasion match, which was Billy Kidman versus X-Pac. Billy Kidman was the light heavyweight. X-Pac was the cruiserweight, or the other way around. I can't remember which way around it was. It was a title unification match. It was that invasion pay-per-view where they were unifying all the belts.
Keeping score.
Keeping score, yep. Up to this point, WWE had won all of their matches. The Alliance hadn't won a match yet. So, it was on a roll. There was no pressure on X-Pac. It's like, you don't be the first guy to lose. But this is the first example, or the first match we're going to talk about, which has the best evidence for X-Pac heat, which seems to be a terminology for that just gets used now in wrestling for legitimate heat. You're not hating on someone because of they're a bad guy or they're a heel. You just legitimately hating on someone because you just don't want to see them on your TV, and that seems to be like now referred to as X-Pac heat.
But technically, he was supposed to be the babyface in that, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah,
he's defending WWF.
Yeah, but the crowd were like, and even the commentators were like trying to sort of be like, oh, it's a little bit 50-50. And like you watch it, it's like, no, the crowd are legitimately just freaking Chernobyl heat on like X-Pac kind of thing. It's like, Jesus, they just turned on him by this point. It was, he had the X Factor theme song by Uncle Kracker, which admittedly would have pissed a lot of people off because it was probably one of the worst theme songs ever.
Myself and Palmer are big fans of that one.
What are you looking at? I gotta remember and I don't want it back.
Dude, there's only one good Uncle Kracker song, and that is
dare you.
It's weird, man. Obviously, seeing Kidman's awesome, so it goes without saying it was a good match. It got allocated, I would say, probably around about the 10 minutes, back and forth, very consistent, just move for move. And then that spot again where he's about to hit the Bronco Buster. Kidman gets his foot up. X-Pac obviously two feet on the bottom rope, pushes himself back, sells it like he's just been absolutely kapowed in the nuts. Kidman jumps up, top rope, shooting star press, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, he's the first WWE guy to lose. But it's just I picked this match because of the whole X-Pac heat thing. It seems really weird to me because, you know, like, as much as we're talking about him, he was a solid worker. He was reliable. But by this point, man, the fans had just had enough. They were just like, no, do one. And I personally, I don't get it. But
I never understood where it come from. The hearing from it's just, for some reason, just all fans just decided at that point they just couldn't stand him and they didn't want anything to do with him. Because I remember a couple of years before that, obviously when he joined DX and stuff, after Mania, the pop he got when he turned up, it was huge. It was absolutely massive.
It was one of the biggest faces for a couple of years. Oh, he was up there. You know, he would have been like top 5 baby faces. And then all of a sudden, now we're bored of you now.
Yeah.
Palmer, you got any thoughts on this? Did you ever experience the X-Pac heat? Can you recall seeing it?
I think I was like a proponent of it. I was like, fuck off, X-Pac. Don't even fucking screen, you prick.
I love your theme tune, but get out.
Get the fuck out.
How dare you tarnish Uncle Cracker, X-Pac? How dare you?
Take Prince
He's
Albert.
mates with Kid Rock.
As I said earlier, I was just like, fucking, that's the 1, 2, 3 kid. Go fuck yourself, man. I was like, shit, I just couldn't get away with him up until like nowish where we're doing this. But back then, watching him, I was just like, nah, just ugh. Hated him in DX, hated him in fucking X Factor. It was just ugh.
The smart fans had started to breed by this point. You know what I mean? There were smart fans out there. There were people who acknowledged good wrestlers and people who sort of, especially you had like your Benoit's and your Angles and stuff by this point. So, and people could tell a solid worker when they saw one. And it still just didn't matter at this point.
Yeah, they still cheered The Rock.
Oh, dude, get out. Right, when it is right, I'm vetoing. Palmer, what we got?
We've got Syxx versus Dean Malenko at Super Bowl 7 for the Cruiserweight Championship. Dean Malenko is the Cruiserweight Champion, but there's something's happened where Syxx has stolen the Cruiserweight Championship. I think he's with, I don't know if he's with the NWO at this point, but he's a dirty little thief anyway.
Is this the one where he stole the US title as well? Or something?
No, he only came. Well, from what I remember, he only came to the ring with a title belt on, which was the Cruiserweight title, and then later, then Dean Malenko makes his entrance with no belt on, but the tagline says Cruiserweight Champion. I'm thinking, hey, what the fuck's going on? Did they fuck up? No, so then on commentary, they kind of like allude to it. Oh, Syxx is a little thief. He's stealing belts or whatever. So I think it's the beginning of that, what you say, where he's starting stealing belts or he's stolen the US title, but he's definitely stolen the Cruiserweight title at this point. And it must be one of his first few matches where he's made the jump from WWF to WCW, because the crowd are just chanting 1, 2, 3 sucks, 1, 2, 3 sucks. It's just holy shit. So the crowd just don't let up, and they're giving him shit all through the fucking match. Dean Malenko is angry as fuck, and he's just all over X-Pac from the beginning. He's not his normal, to start with anyway, he's not his normal technical self. He's not cool and calm. He's just in there, punches, steaming into him until X-Pac starts working on the head and neck of Dean Malenko, and then commentary allude to the fact, oh, he's working on his head and neck. You see those scars at the back of his neck? That's where he's had his neck surgery. Oh shit! So you see Syxx start pulling out suplexes, brain busters, top rope leg drops. At one point, he drapes Dean Malenko to the apron, goes to the top rope. So Dean Malenko's like outside of the ring, draped out like that. X-Pac comes out off the top rope, elbow drop on Dean Malenko. So again, they're just playing up he's got a bad neck. He's going to work over his neck. He's going to break his neck. He even hits a Bronco Buster in this match as well. So I didn't think he used the Bronco Buster this far back in his career. I always thought that was like an Attitude Era type thing. But no, he's hitting the Bronco Busters.
I hate that move.
I think he started using it when he turned heel, when he joined the $1 Million Corporation or something like that. I think that was a move that he started dishing out then because it was like a bit of a heelish move then. I might be wrong. It might have been one.
One thing that I'm watching, I'm thinking, shit, X-Pac looks really different in this. Well, yeah, he looks young, but he looks different. I'm trying to put my finger on it. He hasn't got a full beard. He's got like a goatee. He's got long hair and a goatee, not a full beard, and he looks like a small Kevin Nash.
It's kind of grown out here a little bit as well, hasn't it?
Oh, they could have done a great thing with him and Nash, where Nash come back as Oz and have him dress up as an Oompa Loompa or something.
Kevin Nash is Mini Me. I call him Mini Me.
NWO black and green.
Fucking hell. There is. Oh shit. There's some sort of interference that happens. That's it. Eddie Guerrero comes to the fucking ring.
And he's the US champion. That's where I thought. I knew something comes up because he's US champion at this, isn't he?
He must be the US champion. X-Pac goes for the belt. He then, because he's about to swing to Malenko, but then Eddie grabs the belt from the outside. There's a full-on tug of war between Eddie, X-Pac, the ref's in the middle of Eddie and X-Pac, so he's getting pulled. Malenko's pulling Syxx for some fucking reason. Then Eddie lets go of the belt. X-Pac, Syxx turns around, whacks Malenko in the face with the belt. The belt goes flying out the ring. Malenko's out cold. Arms draped across Malenko. 1, 2, 3. Fucking.
Was it the belt or was it the camera?
No,
why do I think there was something involving a camera with those ones as well at some point during the match? I can't remember.
Don't remember the
camera. I know that. I know there was a fucking camera to film it, you smooth-faced prick.
Ouch.
Wow.
Handbags.
I haven't got one of them to hand.
Luckily, I don't either. So yeah, he gets clattered in the face. 1, 2, 3. Dean Malenko is definitely not the cruiserweight champion anymore. X-Pac scalpers away with the belt. So yeah, decent match. This one of the better ones of the list, but not like the. I was expecting more. I was expecting something really, really spectacular.
Yeah, well,
like
looking at who was in WCW at that time as well, I was expecting it to be a huge, like, sort of selection of absolutely sick matches because it was going to be because you had the likes of Rey Mysterio there, you had Jericho, Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero. But you had a load of talent who you would have thought he would have worked freaking amazing with. But it was actually, like I say, it was quite difficult to find some like top notch matches between them all.
Yeah, that's more
a bit of a shame. Yeah,
I would have thought because it was WCW, it would have been really, really good. But
because of the cruiserweight side of things. Because
this is the company that gave us Eddie versus like Ray at Halloween Havoc. Was it '98?
97, I think, or 97, I think, or 98, wasn't it? The mask versus title match.
Oh, just when Ray comes out as like the Phantom in that purple suit, and they have that absolute banger against Ray against Eddie. I'm sure it's 97 or 98, but yeah, to be fair, yeah, I suppose this is the company that sort of, like, the cruiserweight matches were awesome. So we should have had, you know, a cream of the crop when it comes to this. Although unless he was, because he was associated with Nash and Hall, maybe they didn't kind of let him go all out cruiserweight.
Yeah, because I was thinking, they're looking at it when I was looking at matches and stuff. I was just thinking his opponents then. And I was just thinking, is this just going to be a spotlight episode on Sean Waltman's career in 1997, 96 and 97?
Oops.
Because I was just thinking they were going to be like sort of obviously the top rung matches and everything. And no, it was, like you say, it was slim pickings really from there. Although a lot of his better matches were away from that, which is a bit of a shame, really, because, as I said, the talent that was there for him to work with.
I'm still listening. I'm just popping over to the fridge. But this is, I think we've got a good variation there, man, because I'm about to rock out from 2000 and, I want to say it's 2000, where he fights Chris Jericho in a cage match. It's Unforgiven. I think it's Unforgiven 2000. It was the end. It's been like a 6-month feud. I've watched a few matches, but this was the payoff, so I thought I'll talk about this one. Let's just sort of said it was the testing period for Jericho. It's where he'd come in, you know, the former WCW guy, giving it big balls, piss trips off, people were pushing for him to be kicked out of the company, and there's like, look, let him work with Sean. If he doesn't deliver, he's gone. But this was like
the X-Pac.
Basically, yeah. You know, this wee little monster in the back. It was like fucking Nibbler off of Futurama or something. So a small in face. But this was a really good feud. I'll tell you what else. Prior to this, it showed you like backstage footage of like what happened on Raw previously. X-Pac had like smashed him up with some nunchucks. Like literally attacked him backstage at Raw with these nunchucks and just piled the crap out of him. And then the camera pound back and Jericho's face was just like a bloody mess. But it reminded me, I miss the wire meshing on Raw, like on the backstage segments, like how Raw used to look, and you had that wire meshing. And they always used to do like interviews in front of it and like Raw kind of thing. I just saw that
with the metal barrels and stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a wire mesh war. It just looked awesome. It was just a small detail, but I saw it. And I was like, oh man, I missed that shit. I just made it stand out. But yeah, this match in the cage was just. I say it was a blow-off match. It'd been like a 6-month feud. I think by this point Jericho had proven, you know, he could do what he could do. They're just going at each other. And there's one spot where they're both climbing up the cage, and Jericho gets the walls of Jericho on X-Pac on top of the cage, where he's kind of like hooking the wire to make sure he doesn't fucking fall. But yeah, X-Pac's laid out on the top of the cage, and he's pulling on like the walls of Jericho. It reminds me of that ladder match he had with Benoit. It's like he's always looking for different ways of getting on the walls of Jericho in weird spots. And this to me, this is a good match to show what X-Pac can do. And this is what he was about for me. This was the guy who he can deliver if you needed him to. And it's got one of the best endings I've seen to a cage match as well. He just basically nut shots himself on the door. He's climbing over. Jericho's like gets the door open, so X-Pac stood on the door, and then Jericho just jumps at the cage and he just knocks him, and he just nut shots him, and Jericho just kind of walks out the door whilst he's like straddling the door in absolute pain. But that would be definitely old school Jericho as well. It's a match worth watching.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that one because it's one that missed me on there.
There's a few. I think it's like 3. Yeah. If you watch majority of the pay-per-views from 2000s, there's about 3 pay-per-view matches between Jericho and X-Pac. It's just on the aftermath of Jericho dropping the IC belts like China or Hardcore Holly or whatever that bollocks was prior to this. He then goes into a feud with X-Pac, and yeah, it's good. Obviously, you got heel X-Pac. I think DX is heel at this point.
Yeah, because they're working with Triple H because the step in the McMahon Helmsley era, isn't it?
Yes.
It's where they've had the DX Express and stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
I think.
Yes, it is. Yes, exactly. Yes, because when it's on this pay-per-view, it's another on the sidebar. This pay-per-view was the one where Austin turns up and Rikishi's like oh shit, Austin's here. I ran him over. It's like they're playing out. They mentioned it a few times on commentary during this match kind of thing. So it's the big payoff.
I did it for the Rock.
I did it for the people.
Two of the worst Rikishi impressions you're ever going to hear, people.
Mine's awesome, but I'm not going to show it to you because I'll get edited out.
No, I don't want to see your ass.
Right, what else we got? But yeah, my matches are just short and sweet. But go watch the. Actually, don't just watch that match. If you can, check out all the matches of that series because yeah, it's just X-Pac doing what X-Pac they wanted him to do. They were putting Jericho through the ringer. It was testing him. You can tell in these matches, literally, like just move for move for move for move. He's working Jericho like a motherfucker just to make sure he can keep up with him.
Because was this before or after the Jericho won the title for like 20 minutes?
This would have been way after.
This was before. Was it after or before?
It was 2000, I thought, because Jericho didn't.
Jericho won it in June 2000. He won it in 2000, did he? For like 20 minutes.
For like 20 minutes when Hebner fast counted.
Yeah, but was that like June, July or something?
I can't remember whether it was before or after, because obviously I think it might have the title might have been after that, because obviously then for Triple H to have that moment with him and everything like that, and because that was the whole start of him where he just kept calling Stephanie like the start of it, calling her a trash bag hoe and stuff.
I think that came after this feud. I think this was literally his proving ground. I think this feud might have run from like February till June, and that was the story that came after this feud.
Yeah.
X-Pac's vouched for him. They're like, okay, well, we'll see what goes. We'll see what happens next. So, yeah, that to me that sums up. Basically, the whole point of this was talking about him being a workhorse, and that feud is just a perfect example of that for me. Have we got any more, Mr. Palmer? Do you want to subject us to any more lows?
It's Mick.
Because you jumped.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you fucking get your own time in. Go on, mate. It's my show.
He cashed in. He cashed in.
The Jeff Jarrett of podcasts. Get me spot.
How to get your shit in. Yeah, how to get your shit in.
Mine that I'm going with is from.
Anyway, this one I've got
is from Judgment Day '98, featuring possibly the most underrated wrestler of the whole Attitude Era, Mr. D'Lo Brown. Yep, Mr. Wobbly Head himself. Yep, all that one. For once again, the most prestigious European title.
Set your undies. What the hell is that?
Yeah, a lovely shot of the clothes horse here. Speaking of workhorses, we've got the workhorse and the clothes horse.
See what we did there.
So yeah, as I say, D'Lo's the champ going into it. I think it follows on from it's the week after. I think on Raw they'd done a tournament for the Intercontinental title. X-Pac got the final of that and got absolutely decimated by the end of it. Got to the finals and just couldn't continue on and lost to Shamrock on that. He'd lost 2 weeks ago to the European title. So you had D'Lo coming out claiming to be from Milan, Italy, which was obviously the heelish thing to do then. If you're a European champion, start saying you're coming from random cities in Europe. So yeah, it has a little flashback of how he won it and stuff. So it was like sort of Mark Henry was getting involved and everything. It was just as the nation was starting to split up. So D'Lo was working a lot more on his own with and as I say, I just thought he was fantastic all throughout the Attitude Era. I thought he was just so underappreciated in there. But if you look back at his catalogue of matches, with his old chest protector on as well.
Until he fucked up draws. That was the problem.
Yeah, well.
That wasn't his fault.
No.
Oh, no, it wasn't his fault, but it knocked his confidence, and you could. That was it. Yeah. That was the end of the D'Lo.
But if you watch some of his stuff from before then, like sort of if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring with New Jack and everything, if you see the size that D'Lo was when he was with him in Smoky Mountain Wrestling and stuff, he was fucking huge then. He was like 350, 400 pounds, I think, just taking the beatings for them. And then when you watch him in 98 and stuff, he's like 250, 260. And he's doing frog splashes off the top rope and stuff. But anyway, this match, though, this match is, as I say, it's it's only about a 10-minute long match, but it's still while X-Pac's there with DX because he's got China with him at ringside and everything. So just again, it's a back and forth one. D'Lo gets it for a while. Obviously gets advantage for a while. Then the Cat's obviously not happy with them. But yeah, we get again at some point during this the old Bronco Buster into a dick shot spot, which the one thing I couldn't find when I was looking up this, because I remember reading about this with Waltman, is there's one match where he tries to do the Bronco Buster and he hits the turnbuckle but slides along and rips his arsehole open on the. He says it's the worst. He genuinely ripped his arsehole open and stuff, like on the cable thing, like sort of which holds the turnbuckle out from there. I think it's slid along there, and he just completely tears it wide open. I remember him talking about that. I know. Oh Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, so as I say, this one, it's around the time where the Rock's turned face. So the nation's sort of basically on the brink of splitting up. I think later on in the night and stuff, you've got Mark Henry against The Rock and everything, where they're already saying Rock's #1 contender, but he's fighting Mark Henry. And we get Mark Henry comes out during this match as well, where he's filed sexual harassment charges against China during it with the storyline, because she's still got a jaw at the time as well. And basically he comes out because he got involved the first time where he got him like sort of as though he was going for the world's strongest slam and slammed him into the ring post before D'Lo done a frog splash onto his back when he lost the title. But again, this match is just it's a great example of how good D'Lo was when you watch some of it. Even though it doesn't look some of the most smooth, like sort of the most smooth at times, it's just a really good match where they're getting their spots in. You're getting your false finishes where D'Lo's doing these old running power bomb sort of thing. X-Pac hits an X Factor and stuff. D'Lo's kicking out of that. You got Miss Frog splashes. You've got, let's say, the lot in there, and then eventually you get to the end where I'm trying to think now. I can't remember where it was now. I think it was hits him with another X Factor, and basically he ends up winning the title back from D'Lo, and so that's that.
That's such a shit finishing move as well. As much as I love Sean Waltman, he had some of the worst moves.
But I think
it's the generic go-to move for the women wrestlers.
Yeah, that's why I think it is. I think back in the time, there wasn't really anybody else doing it. And as you say now, because the women use it, even the non-wrestling women use it as a go-to finish sort of thing, it sort of diminished it. It's like the Canadian Destroyer. I can still remember seeing that the first time I ever saw it and being in absolute awe of how it was the greatest move in history and it'll never be repeated. And it's just one of those moves. I think because of it, it becomes guilty by association, and when you watch it back, it just looks shit.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, a lot of love for D'Lo. So I'm going to check out this match because I just imagine these two just putting on, even if it's just for 10 minutes, like it's saying, man, it's just a nice little. Sorry, my cat's attacking something. Yeah, just a nice match. You can imagine it just being not smooth, but I do like it sometimes when a match isn't smooth because it kind of looks a bit more real sometimes. You know, when it just looks like roughhousing.
I think sometimes when it's too smooth, it looks too staged.
Yeah, I like my shit to look a little bit rough sometimes.
I want the odd spot where you look at it and you just think, "Fuck me, that looks brutal."
Has he just punched him for real? Oh, yep, there we go.
Yeah, like the Flair one where he legit, I think, kicked him in the mouth and nearly kicked his teeth out.
Right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is One Night in China.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh God!
His greatest performance.
Well,
he couldn't even sell that.
Oh shit! I've seen that actually.
I genuinely haven't. I can genuinely hold my hands up and say I've never seen it. So.
I've seen that. The one with Tommy and Pam, and the one with Sammy as well. I've seen those. Fucking hell, sunny side up or something like that. I think
You've hit a new low, Palmer. You've hit a new low.
She
Next
farts
week's
in
Spotlight
that as well.
episode, Palmer's porn series.
Palmer's celebrity porn stash.
Palmer, I can't judge you. I
Oh,
can't judge you.
meow.
Well, my first one that I watched was Abby Titmus and John Leslie.
It's in the collection somewhere. I've catalogued them.
There was one that I found actually. I don't know if you've watched it going back. The 10-man tag on Raw.
What are you talking about?
No. I'm steering away from that before we get the fucking bother. From whoever watches this, someone will end up passing on. We'll end up in bother. So no, there's a 10-match tag on Raw. Fucking with the Radicals, Triple H, and X-Pac against fucking Too Cool, Rikishi, The Rock, and Cactus Jack. Did you watch that one?
Oh.
That's from Raw. I think it's
January,
it's February 2000. I think it's just before the career match for Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Triple H. But yeah, it's a 10-man tag where everyone thinks the Radicals are leaving. Cactus Jack comes out to thank them because obviously the storyline was that he got them the job and stuff.
So they turn on him.
Triple H comes out and sort of goes, I'm the reason you got the contract, and they're all beaten down on Cactus Jack. Rock comes out and says he'll help them. So going into the match, I think it's a 5-on-2 match. They're just absolutely twatting the Rock and Cactus Jack, and all of a sudden, Too Cool's music hits. They realize they put the lights out and everything, have the lights flashing for Too Cool, but then realize the 7 guys are already beating the shit out of each other in the ring. So they sort of stop the music and stop the lights and stuff as they're running down the ring. But it was just so weird to see, I don't know whether it was just absolutely scraping the barrel for baby faces to have Too Cool, as
they were over, man, at the time. They were.
I know, but still, they weren't going to be. You were never going to be believable that going into this.
Yeah, this series of matches as well, though, against Guerrero, Malenko, and Saturn against Too Cool and Rikishi.
And then, weirdly enough, during the match, there's an advert break where they go on and they talk about DVD release of One Night in China. No, they don't, Nick. Your face there was brilliant.
Oh, wow. Peacock will not show this.
But no, definitely go back and watch that one. It's a really good. It's a completely chaotic 10-man match from then. Let's say it was a good match to lead up into the No Way Out fucking. Was it the Cell match?
Yeah.
The Cell match. We tied for 5 days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a sidebar. Totally different sidebar. But when I was looking on the network, obviously looking for matches to watch, scrolling through WrestleMania 2000, it's got the fucked up poster, the thumbnail for WrestleMania 2000. It's got Jericho, The Rock, Triple H, and Big Show. Not Foley. It's got the original idea where Jericho is going to be the.
Is that the one behind 2000 as well? And you can see Sean Waltman hanging out the back of China for the one in China.
Hell.
All I'm going to say about One Night in China is there's a very thin line between a large clit and a very small penis. And on that note,
unfortunately, I fall the wrong side of it for being a bloke. So
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I'll reference. I'll nod Clerks 2 for that reference.
I've as I say, never seen it. Probably better than Paris.
Yeah, seen that one as well.
I thought so. Hold on a second. Come on, no. I want to see. I want to fucking hear the list now. Fucking get the Jericho style clipboard out. Right, let's run them off. How many's Palmer seen? China? Yep.
Seen that one. Yep.
I love how you just randomly in the middle of a wrestling one just go, I saw the Pamela and Tommy Lee one. It's a big deal and stuff. Yeah, I remember Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. I saw that one.
Oh, God. That'll be a whole different friggin' podcast.
That's a hell of a different Spotlight episode.
How does he steer the boat again?
With his knob. With his fucking knob.
Just helicoptering the steering wheel around.
Weird. The yacht's just going around in circles.
I just gagged and vomited at the same time. I could vomit.
I'm presuming 5 minutes ago is where it's going to be cut until we say goodbye.
No, this is staying in. I've already cut one shot.
That's not going to make the cut.
It will. This is fine.
Fuck me, it's become like a Frankie Boyle episode of fucking Mock the Week. That's not getting in.
Gentlemen, I can't continue on from this. So I'm going to say, plug your socials, do what you do. You know what the score is. So, Mr. Palmer, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter at Yardy316. I'm back on Facebook. Who knows how long for, but I'm back on there. Yay.
3 days.
3 days.
I'll be on Twitter for 4 days.
Yeah. How long though? How long will it last?
Mr. Ego.
Yeah. So on Twitter and Instagram, Mr. Mick Ego, Mick Connolly on Facebook. Yeah, that's it.
And
all the ones I got.
Find us on Facebook. Just search Work the Left Side. I am back on Twitter for now at Towers Nick NIK.
Oh, so we got it wrong then.
Yes. That's why I thought I'd just throw that out there. So future reference.
I'm not going to remember.
No, your tag like an account from 2 years ago again, probably.
Yeah, I'm also called Mike, you fuck.
Yes. Hey, at least I changed it. I changed it for you. I nearly left it. Like, you know what? Actually, I'm just going to take it.
You fucking prick.
Michael Shipman. There we go.
Whoa.
Is it Shipman or Stacey? Is it Shipman or West?
I'm not gonna lie. Neither of them's a really good fucking advert to have as a surname. Especially not considering apparently Fred West's ashes are scattered at Barry Island. So
yeah, God bless the episode. So diverse. Porn, murder, wrestling.
I tell you what, there's some great keywords to put in them.
Watch this be the most viewed episode like ever,
and the most complained about.
Bring it on.
As we said, this is all news. This is extras for you because it'll not make the cut. So.
All right, well, this is no. I've had an episode cut already. I'm not having this one cut. This is going in uncensored. I'll put a disclaimer on it or something.
Nice.
Right, good gentlemen.
Yeah, like the warning on the bloody Dark Side of the Ring. Have you watched that one yet with Jake's dad?
Oh, no.
Jesus! Oh God!
So sad.
So bad it's from Beyond the Mat though. Does it obviously touch?
No, it's 100 times worse. That comes up with a bloody message they're talking about, like sort of warnings and stuff about the topics being discussed. Seriously, mate, get it watched.
I watched it for a few weeks. Last one I watched was the Gage one, so I need to watch the Warrior one. I know there's one more after that.
Korea's good.
Korea
one's good.
Yeah,
the Warrior one was it wasn't pretty much what I was expecting. Everyone bad mouthing him saying he was shit, but the one about Jake's dad, fuck me, that's dark. That's possibly the darkest one I've seen yet.
What a prick he was.
For the topics that are discussed and everything, it's really fucked up.
Awesome. Right, and on that note then, as a sidebar, watch this. If you've already watched it, thank you. Now go watch Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, because it's not dark enough already.